Good morning. Made it to Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, so it's my last day of work for the week, thank goodness. Still dealing with some just like fatigue and other things I deal with, like joint pain, muscle pain, all the things. Yeah, it's like it's an hour or two after I get up, things start hurting and it just kind of gets worse until I take something, or I don't know. Man, like I had so many ideas of things I wanted to talk about, and then I get here and I'm like, words. Yesterday I got to talk to the person who referred me to my autism assessment person. She went to the same doctor, and it was really nice getting to talk to her and just like be able to relate on a lot of things. And she got her diagnosis like a few weeks ago, and just like how that's been for her. She's been having a really stressful time with the work. There's a lot of stuff going on, and just like we're both trying to allow ourselves to be okay with where we're at, and understand that like we started at a lower level than other people do, so it's not like our fault. So she was talking about how her experience is with that, and I was relating on some things, and it was really cool. We talked for like 45 minutes. It was, yeah, she was like, I gotta get back to work. But it was really nice. I put up 2 Christmas trees yesterday and some other decorations. Got glitter on me, which is meh, but it's okay. I washed thoroughly. But it was nice. I don't mind doing that kind of stuff. Like, I just like doing menial tasks that get me through the day, because otherwise I'm sitting there like, what do I do? I don't know. And I have too much time to think. So it was good to have distractions. Hoping that today I'm at our other location, and so I think there's more decorating to be done over here, and just trying to keep myself busy so I don't know. I'm tired, and as always, like, am I never not tired? So don't want to fall asleep on anybody. And yeah, I'm gonna try to do physical therapy after this, because it's like 7:04, so I'm thinking I'll have time to do that before starting my day completely. And like, I just really need to find a time that works every day to do it, because I haven't found it yet, and so it's just not getting done because I'm like, oh, this isn't the right time. I know I had mentioned that I tried doing it in the evening after work, and that's not really working for me. I'm getting hot. So we're gonna have to go with mornings. I got up at 4:30 this morning because that's when my partner was getting up for work, and if I get up at 5, like I'm not going back to sleep for a half hour. Like, that's just not gonna happen. And they, like, I can't stay asleep when they get up. Like, I wake up. So I was just like, whatever, I'll take the L on 30 minutes. I can sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So yeah. But I was thinking about my partner, and my partner's pretty sure they're autistic as well, but like, they don't really want a diagnosis, like want to seek out a diagnosis, because there's like, I'm pretty sure, but like I don't need to go to a doctor for an assessment, because like it's like I already know, so that's good enough for me. I don't feel the same way. I want to know not just about me, but like I would like to know about them too, but it's okay. We'll just keep working under the assumption that they are, because it would make sense. But they have a special interest right now that I've kind of just realized is a special interest, because they're always watching videos about it and stuff, and I encourage them to get back into it, because it's I was like, you should have a hobby, even though they say the same thing about me all the time. Like, it's good to have something outside of work that you like to do that makes you happy, and this happens to be a like it involves a physical activity, so like that's really good. You know, you're always talking about how you want to exercise more, and this is a physical activity and you enjoy it, and so, you know, maybe that, you know, is a good way to incorporate those things into your life. And so it just made me smile today thinking about how autistic we are. I am kind of in between special interests right now, and I think it's because I'm just very overwhelmed with work and life. I think autism is a special interest of mine right now, which is kind of funny, but like neurodivergency in general, I've just been studying and learning, and so I think I do spend probably a similar amount or more time than my partner on like that. So I think that would be my special interest right now. But it's not a hobby per se. Like it doesn't require any physical activity, or like I made a little painting the other day because I was just wanting to be artistic, and so trying to figure out what sort of outlet I could have for that. I don't know. There's only so much time in the day. It's like I can't do all the things, and so I have to prioritize. And again, I'm always so tired, and I go to bed at like 9 o'clock every night. Yeah. Here's doing something funky. But I'm trying to think about what's appropriate to say or what I want to say. I don't know. I've been contemplating today whether or not I want to go through a procedure so that I won't be able to get pregnant. I currently have an IUD, but it's time to get it replaced. And I have kind of set this like limit in my head that when I am 35, if at that point I still haven't wanted children, then we'll go ahead and make that permanent. Because I don't want kids now, and I don't foresee myself wanting kids, but I don't know how I'm going to change in 10 years. I've changed so much in 10 years since I was 15, so how am I going to know in 10 years when I'm 35 what I'm going to want, you know? I don't know if my living situation and, you know, with my partner, I get married, which we've been talking about it. Like, I don't know if circumstances change, if maybe I would change my mind. And I don't really want to make a permanent decision based off of a possibly temporary feeling. But I also have not been very good about keeping track of my periods forever. So I've had kind of irregular periods too, and having an IUD can make them more irregular. And I just started tracking my period last period, and so I could have messed up on the date because it was at the end of my period that I was putting in when my period started into the app, and so like I could have maybe miscalculated by a few days. So that I wouldn't put that past me. But anyways, my app was telling me, oh, you're like 3-4 days late for your period, and I'm like, oh, really? Like, again, I need to do this for like 3 or 4 periods to even start to see a pattern. So, but of course, my overthinking, paranoia, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a pregnancy test anyways because no. But then, of course, in my head, I'm like, okay, when's the best day to do that? If I'm gonna take a test, should I take it now? What if I am? And then what if that ruins like my whole work day? Then what do I do? Then Thanksgiving's tomorrow and I have to be around my family, and I can't tell them that because I'm not having a baby, and so they would totally not be okay with that. They're very religious. And I'm just like, okay, well, then I don't know what to do. And then we have a concert on Friday, and I'm going to see my grandparents that day too for lunch. And I'm like, well, if I am, then I can't tell them either. And then when do I go to a doctor's appointment? And then the concert's on Saturday, and I don't want to ruin my day on Saturday either because I want to enjoy the concert. And then I'm like, well, then Sunday it is. Then I'll take it and I'll bring it with me, and I'll take it on Sunday. This morning I was just like, screw it, I don't care, I'm doing it now. If I have to make a doctor's appointment, then I can hopefully get in for an emergency appointment today and figure out what we need to do because I don't want to chance it. So yeah, good news, not pregnant. But it has made me think, like, do I really want to go through that? Like, that is an option, and I'm grateful that it is an option where I live, because I don't want children, but I don't want to take that option away permanently. So it's like, what's the best solution? Is it to get my tubes tied and hope that a reversal would work down the line if I wanted to get it reversed, and that costs, around $10,000, and I don't really want to put that kind of money into it. So then I'm like, well, financially and risk-wise, it's probably better for me to just keep doing what I'm doing, get my IUD replaced, and if, God forbid, it fails, then I'll just have to, go through the process of whatever that looks like. Because honestly, I don't really know. I know of the different types of procedures that can be done, and I just don't know for sure. Like, I know sometimes when they remove an IUD, if it failed, they can just go ahead and like clean everything out at that time because they're already going to be up in your uterus anyways. And most of the time when you remove the IUD, it ends up like the whole thing kind of comes with it, and it's so like it's very unlikely that the pregnancy would be viable anyways. So part of that's comforting, and part of it's like, I don't want to deal with the issues of my family if that happens, because again, like, very religious family, they would absolutely not approve. Now, obviously, if it were my choice and it was like, oh, well, like, it just wasn't viable, then they wouldn't have any hard feelings against me. But if it was viable, then they would not be okay with it. And I just. There's so many things about me that I have had to not even fight for, but it kind of. I am, well, probably the first in my generation of um, like my cousins and my age to be openly queer. Now I don't like just go around telling everybody. I haven't like explicitly told my grandparents or anything, but like I have a sticker on my water bottle with the pride flag, and I've got a pin on my bag with the flag, and so like I'm not hiding it. Let's just say that. I'm not hiding it. And my cousin, um, posthumously after they died, we knew that she was bisexual as well, or at least she was trying to discover that. She was 15 when she died, so she probably was just still figuring things out. I mean, you're 15. How do you know really anything? Like, your brain's still developing, but she was experimenting and had a girlfriend and like that. Well, we didn't really. A lot of us in the family didn't know that until she died. And then same with her brother, like they didn't really talk about it. It wasn't an open thing. I wouldn't say that they were open about it. It was just, I knew through the grapevine because my family is super gossipy and I absolutely hate that. But I can't help it. They just tell me things and I don't, like, I'm like, I did not want to hear this from you. Now I can't talk to them because I would have to tell them how I heard, and it's just super embarrassing. And like, why do you people have to be like this? But I was outed to my family by my sister, who, by the way, was very young and felt terrible about it. And she is also bisexual, and so I think that me going through this though did kind of help pave the way. I think that my parents' perspective changed drastically over after finding that out about me, and so I don't like that I've had to kind of pave the way on some things. I'm like, why couldn't you just be accepting from the beginning? And why did it take it affecting you personally to make you realize that your opinions were harmful? But there's just I have a partner that we pretty much live together, and thankfully my parents became okay with that, because we kind of live at my parents' house most of the time, but when we were like first dating, my parents were not cool with. First, they weren't cool with them staying with me. Then, I basically just stayed over there then, because if I'm not gonna be able to, be in the same room at night as my partner, then I'm gonna go somewhere else where I can. And so I think they realized that, and after a couple months, they were like, "Oh no, you can come back." So, But then my dad was like, no funny business. And I'm like, are you thick? Like, I love my dad. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore my dad. But sometimes I'm just like, I don't understand what, like, are you thinking about what you're saying? Like, does that make sense to you? But anyways, I mean, in those situations, you just agree to agree, and you're like, whatever, I'm getting what I want if I agree, so. But obviously, that's not what happened. And so, I mean, it hasn't been a problem. My parents haven't said anything about it because they know that if they say something about it, then I will just leave again. And I think they would rather have me around, which I mean, I appreciate. I'm glad that they like having me around. I know that a lot of people in my position have not had that, and their family has chosen their beliefs over them. So I really do appreciate that my parents are willing to have their mind opened to things and to accept me for who I am. But it takes some, a level of confidence on my end, which I feel very, unconfident most of the time. So, I'm an anxious person when it comes to dealing with my family. I know they're the only people that should, like, innately accept me for who I am, and I'm just so afraid that I will do something that eventually they won't. And I feel like anything related to an abortion would absolutely just that would be the line. So to me, I'm like, well, I couldn't tell them. I would never be able to tell them. And that's kind of a big thing to keep from people that you're around a lot, that you share big details of your life with. And I'm not a good person at hiding things anyways, and I'd just rather be open about things. I feel compelled to tell people stuff that, people that are close to me, I feel compelled to tell them things. I don't know why that is, but I just feel like I need to. So I know that would be really hard for me. But I also don't want to make a decision based off of my parents. Like, I have a lot of health issues and a lot of, things that make it difficult to exist, and I don't want to give that to anyone else. Like, I don't want children because they will, especially with my partner, like, most likely be autistic. Not saying that that's a bad thing in and of itself, but in society it is very misunderstood and not accommodated for, and I know how difficult that would be for them. And I also have physical problems. IBS runs in my family. It runs. Sorry, I can't. Oh, jeez. And there's so many other health issues that run in my family. I don't have all of them, but they could have a gene mutation for breast cancer. They could have diabetes. They could have various heart conditions. Like, there are so many. They could go blind. Macula runs in my family. Like, there's so many things that run in my family. To the point where I'm just like, why would I want I feel like this gene pool should end. Like, this is not good. But then I don't want to make a permanent decision based off of how I feel right now. Granted, I have felt this way for a while, about 5 years, I would say I have felt this way. But I have waffled on whether or not I wanted kids. And I think that has to do with the person I am with and how much they want to have kids and how much I was not certain of myself and what I wanted. And so I don't foresee my opinion changing. However, I just don't want to take that option completely away at this point. So I feel that it's best to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, I haven't had any terrible issues with my IUD and hormonal stuff, so if I just keep doing what I'm doing, I think it'll be the best option for me. The current IUD that I have lasts 6 years. I know I had seen one that lasts 10. That would be perfect because that would be my timeline. So I need to make an appointment today for my try to get in with a OB/GYN to try to get that done. Because in January is when, I think January-ish was when I got my IUD the last time 6 years ago, and this one lasts 6 years, so, well, it's guaranteed for 6 years. When I got it, it was guaranteed for 5, and then they were like, actually, they've done more studies, and it's guaranteed for 6 now, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But that means this whole year I've been like, really? Is it? Are you sure? So yeah, it's just so many things, but I don't want to have any regrets. So, but then part of me is like, well, what if I regret not having the kid if I were to get pregnant? But I feel like those regrets would mostly be fueled from how I was raised and not how I actually feel. And it would be because of this exterior pressure to have a child and this exterior pressure to not have an abortion and this, you know, all of that stuff. And it wouldn't really be what I wanted that I was thinking about. I'd be thinking about what everybody else wanted. And so I just... yeah, that's me. That's what I've been thinking about today, and probably won't think about it the rest of the day because I'm good. Like, I don't need to worry about it right now. Probably getting my period very soon. My partner keeps track of it more than I do. They're like, yeah, this is early for you. Like, actually, your period normally comes later. And I was like, how do you know that? And I don't. Like, what? So, they're very attentive, and I really appreciate that. And they are okay with me doing whatever I want to do if any situation were to arise. So I don't think I would be able to be with my partner if they weren't okay with that. But it is very comforting, and my last partner was not that way. So it's definitely an improvement. Everything about my current partner is an improvement. So... oh, to be 16 and deciding who you're gonna spend 5 or more years with. Ugh, stupid. But, yeah, still awaiting my autism results, but it's been better. Like, I'm not so nervous. Like, I'm really sure that this is it. I just want the confirmation so that I can't, like, I can just silence those doubts in my mind. And so that I can more confidently speak about it to other people, because I'm the type of person who like really wants to educate people, and I've been doing some studies. It sounds so official, but I have been reading scientific studies on some things that have affected my family, mood disorders and suicidality, which I know that is a trigger for some people, and I will not go into more of that in this episode, but I will probably do an episode on that, because I have learned so much as it relates to neurodivergency and autism, and just figuring out why my family is this way. It's been so enlightening. I want to be able to share this with my family. I want to be able to educate them on ways that we can help each other, ways that, you know, like maybe they need to get assessed, if they can afford to, if they have insurance, then can find a provider that takes insurance. I know there's so many ifs when it comes to getting an autism diagnosis, but I just think I can pave the way again. I have been so discouraged by how dysfunctional, mostly mentally, but also physically, my family is, and if I can help in us understanding better why we're this way, what is going on in our brains that makes this a reality, how can we better equip ourselves to deal with it? I don't want this knowledge just for me. Like, I want to share it. I want it for myself, but I have realized how important it's been for me, and that it maybe can help my family too. So we'll see. I will do an episode on that one topic that I mentioned earlier. But I will make sure that there are trigger warnings, and if that is not something you're interested in, I totally understand. It's a very sensitive topic, and I know that it's especially sensitive for people in this community, which is why I was doing research on it. So it's yeah, if you guys see any like episode come out about that, just be conscientious, and don't listen to it around children or other people that you have not gotten their consent for that topic. But I'm gonna wrap up soon, so I have enough time to do my PT, and I hope that you guys have a great holiday weekend if you're in the United States and if you celebrate. If you don't, that is also totally valid, and I hope that you have a good rest of your week. I will probably not be on again for another, probably not till Monday. But I'm going to try to make some notes, because I know I'm going to have lots of things to talk about. And I may try to get on another time over the week, but I haven't told anyone in my family that I'm doing this yet, just because I don't really want them listening to it, for obvious reasons about what I talked about today, but also just because I'm a little embarrassed, because I don't know what they're gonna say or what they're gonna think. I've never even talked about wanting to do this. So I just haven't told anyone at home. I told like 2 coworkers, because somebody was asking what I was doing, and I was like, nothing, just making a podcast. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you again soon. And as always, you can always reach out to me on Instagram, and if there's any other preferred method of contacting me that you have, just put it in the comments, and I will try to accommodate that. And have a good rest of your week, even though I said that so many times. I'm so awkward. And as always, you are enough.